Hello, parents, guardians, and students. Welcome to the How to Apply to College information session. The purpose of today's information session is to go over the college application process. We will also be going over such things as graduation requirements, the important role research plays in this process, and some things to take note of after the application process. We encourage all of our senior students to join our Guidance Google Classroom. Many important information has been posted to date, and more important information will be posted for this following year. Here is the Guidance Google Classroom code, and please, we encourage all senior students to join our Google Classroom. Unfortunately, parents are not able to join at this time because they do not have a TDSB account, and we recommend that parents log in with their child and take a look at the Google Classroom postings together. Parents were sent the OCAS timeline, important timeline sheet in the email that was sent. Also, students have access to this timeline in the Guidance Google Classroom as well. Please take note of the important dates, and a particularly important date to take note of is the February 1st deadline to apply to college. We'd like to go over graduation requirements, which are very, very important as all of our students are working towards their Ontario Secondary School Diploma. First of all, before we go over the requirements, we'd like to highlight the circled OEN code. OEN stands for Ontario Education Number, and it is separate from the student number. The OEN number can be found on a student's report card, timetable, and on their credit counseling summary. And this is the number that is required during the application process. One of the three requirements for the Ontario Secondary School Diploma is the community hours. Normally, the Ministry of Education would require students to fulfill a minimum of 40 hours of volunteer service. However, this year, due to the COVID-19 situation, the Ministry of Education has reduced this number to 20 hours for all potential 2021 graduates. So for students that will be graduating this year, the minimum requirement is 20 hours. For students who have completed the volunteer form, please send it to your guidance counselor or drop it off in our guidance mailbox. The second requirement is a literacy requirement. All students are required to successfully complete this English literacy requirement. Majority of our students have written this test in grade 10. Our ESL students may have had this requirement delayed. If for any reason students who will be graduating this year have not fulfilled this literacy requirement, not to worry, the Ministry of Education has waived it for this year due to COVID-19. So students who do not have this requirement fulfilled do not need to write a literacy test. Also a requirement for graduation is the earning 30 credits. The top row, as you can see, REQ, which stands for required, shows that students need 18 compulsory credits and 12 elective credits to graduate to make a total of 30 credits. The bottom row shows the number of credits that the student has earned. So thank you. So it is very important to take note of the course codes that students are taking. Please look at your timetable and take a look at the course codes that you have on your timetable. The codes should start with should have a U, M, C, or O attached to them, and the examples are provided. For students intending on applying to degree programs in college, You must have 6th grade 12 U or M or 4U, 4M coded courses on your timetable. If you do not, you cannot apply to degree programs in college. You must apply to diploma programs. So please make sure, and majority of diploma programs do require senior level M or C classes. So make sure that your timetable includes these courses. And if you have any questions, please book an appointment with your guidance counselor. Research is very important for preparation on understanding what programs are available to the student and what the requirements are to apply to these programs. We have provided all students with an grade 12 search and apply college worksheet. The purpose of this particular worksheet is to organize students' research, to easily be able to go back to the research findings and easily compare and contrast and make those final decisions when it actually comes down to apply. As you can see on the left-hand corner under college, it stresses GTA colleges. So majority of our students do apply to colleges in the Greater Toronto area. The 5 colleges that are in the Greater Toronto area are Centennial College, George Brown College, Humber College, Seneca College, and Sheridan College. And we will refer back to these when we're actually going over the Ontario Colleges site. So it's very important that the students fill out the necessary information, and all of this information can be found on the Ontario Colleges website, which we will be going over shortly. Students will conduct all of their research on www.ontariocolleges.ca website. There is a live link. We strongly recommend students to look at, there's virtual schools available, college tours available of the schools. So if you look at strong recommendations, students can click on the live link and they can view and have virtual schools of the colleges that they're interested in applying to. For our visa students, it's very important. Please click on the link. It's very important for you to have an understanding of what is required of you to apply, and Ms. Pavlik-Trias will be going over the application process, a separate application process for our visa students. But these are live links and we recommend students click on them. On the other side of the college worksheet is a section, this is an editable PDF, so we want students to enter their username and password when they're creating their OCAS application. So as you will see when Ms. Pavlik-Trias goes over the application process, students are required to create a username and password. So we highly recommend students to write that down so that they don't forget. Also throughout the application process, the OCAS, students will receive an OCAS application number, which we highly recommend students to write down as well for future reference. And the OEN number, as we had indicated before, the OEN number is required to create an application. So if you can write that down there, that would be great as well for easy future reference. As I had indicated before, students will do their research on ontariocolleges.ca. This particular site has all the information for all the programs offered in all of the colleges in Ontario. There are 24 colleges in Ontario, and this is a great site. It has a compilation of all the programs that are available to students. First of all, when we go into ontariocolleges.ca, click on Programs. When you click on Programs, the students will be able to search by keyword or category. Let's search by category. For example, health, food, and medical. Here are all the programs in that area that are under health, food, and medical. Let's look at nursing. When we click on nursing, it'll give us a very nice description on what to expect from a career in nursing. When you scroll down, you will also be able to see all of the nursing programs offered in the Ontario colleges. Since there are 24 colleges, and to narrow the search, we recommend students go into the left-hand column college page, college section, click on it, and then click on the 5 GTA colleges. This will bring up all the colleges in the GTA, all the programs that are in the that are offered in the GTA colleges. Remember also to narrow your search by program start date. Your program start date will be August 2021 because you will be starting in the fall of 2021. Also remember to really narrow your search down again by the credential. So degree means, like I said, 6th grade 12 U or M courses that you need to have on your timetable. If you do not have 6th grade 12 U or M courses, please click on diploma. We would also like for you to pay special attention to the program level. So you are looking for post-secondary programs. So click on that as well. And this will really narrow your searches down. Once you find a program at a particular college, what you will do is you will use the link to visit the site. These links are directly attached to that particular program at that particular college. And this site also has prerequisite information. Now I'm going to pass this over to Ms. Pavlik-Trias to go over the online application process.
Okay, so once again, the same site that you used for your research is the site that you will use to apply to college. There are 2 ways that you can do this. You can either click on the big Apply Now in the middle, or there's a smaller Apply Now in the top right-hand corner. Once you have done that, it will bring you to this page where it will ask whether you are an international applicant, meaning you are a citizen of another country and don't have a residency status in Canada. So you are an international visa fee-paying student, or all other students will fall under the Canadian applicant portal. I'm first going to take a moment to look at the international portal for our students who are in that situation. When you click on the international portal, it will take you to a landing page which will then require you to apply to each college separately. Unfortunately for our international students, not all programs are available, and each college does require you to apply to it directly and separately, and there is a separate fee associated with each application that you make as an international student. For everyone else who has status in Canada, whether it be a Canadian citizen or refugee status or permanent resident, you will be using the Canadian Applicants portal on the other side. Once you click on the Canadian Applicant portal, the first thing that you will do is create an account. You will need to give your legal first name and your legal last name. This is the name that appears on any government issued documents, for example, your passport, your health card, or your birth certificate. So it is important that you use your legal name and not any nickname that you may have perhaps been using here at Northview. You will then also enter an email address to be associated with that account. We recommend that students do not use their TDSB email address, as that address will become inactive once a student graduates, and the colleges may need to get a hold of you over the summer. So we do recommend using a personal email address. We also recommend making sure that that email address is a professional address. So we don't want to see things like imsohot@hotmail.com. You want to use something that is professional and will represent you properly. You then must choose a password. It has to be at least 8 characters long with a mixture of letters or numbers. Make sure that you write this password down. We as guidance counselors are not able to access your account should you forget your password. You will need to contact OCAS directly to have that reset. After you have entered that information, it will ask you to choose 3 security questions and the answers for those questions. These questions will be used if for any reason you forget your username or password and need to access your account. So make sure that you take a screenshot of the questions that you chose and the answers that you provided. Once you have done that, it will confirm that your registration has been completed, and it will ask you to go to the email you provided in order to activate the account. Once you go to your email and click on the activation link, you will then receive a confirmation that your account has been successfully activated. At this point, you can log in and continue directly to the application process, or if for any reason you don't have time to do that at this time, you can always go back to the main landing page and choose login instead of apply. So at this point, once you have received that confirmation email, you are now using login to continue your application. Once you select the login option, it's going to once again confirm with you whether you're an international applicant or a Canadian applicant. Again, make sure that you click on the already applied login option. Then it's going to take you to the portal where you will enter the email that you chose and the password that you chose, and it will sign you into the first part of the application. At this point, you can double check that the legal first and last name that you provided is indeed correct, and you will also have to enter your date of birth in order to continue to the next page. The next page is going to ask you to read the privacy policy from the Ontario Colleges Application Service. You must accept the privacy policy in order to continue. You will then also be asked about your communication preferences. All communication will be done electronically, so it is important that you consent to receive electronic messages or it will not allow you to continue the application. Once you have consented to both those 2 items, you are brought to your profile landing page. There are 2 components to your profile. The first is your personal information, and that's the part that we are going to go over now. On the personal information page, you will be asked to add any additional information that you have not already done so, things such as gender identity, first language of choice, whether or not your parents have attended college or university. Further down, it will ask you for your address and contact information. It will confirm the email that you have been using, and it will ask you for your residency status. At the very bottom, there is a question about sponsorship. I've highlighted this question because we do often get questions from students about what exactly does sponsorship mean. So sponsorship means if an outside organization or agency is actually paying for you to go to college. This does not include OSAP. So for the majority of our students, the answer to this question is no sponsorship. Once you have completed all the personal information, it will then take you back to the profile landing page and you will select the education portion of the profile. On the next screen, you will be asked for your education status. You are again currently enrolled in a high school course, and your anticipated graduation date is June 2021 if you are here with us for the whole year. If you are here with us for only 1 semester or 2 quads, then your anticipated graduation date becomes January 2021. For this next section here, it's going to ask you about your education. Once you select the province of Ontario, if you input Northview Heights Secondary School, it will automatically come up as one of the schools. You are currently attending this institution, so you will answer the question yes for this part. And then for the attended from date, that will depend on your year of birth. So for those of you who were born in 2003, you have been attending since September 2017. And for those of you born in 2002, you have been attending since September 2016. Below that section, there is where you put in your OEN number. Remember, Ms. Tanrakulu highlighted where your OEN number is on your credit counseling summary. That this is where you will input that number. And again, it is different from the student number that you use here at Northview Heights. Once you have found Northview, it will list Northview as the institution, and it will show that you have been attending from September 2015 till the present. If you have attended any other institutions in the 4 years that you have been in Ontario, you will need to add those institutions. So for example, if you were at C.W. Jeffreys in grade 9, you will have to add C.W. Jeffreys as another institution that you attended. This is only qualifies for institutions that you have attended in Ontario during your time at high school here. So if that does apply to you, go ahead and add any other schools that you have been at. Once you have done that, it will give you a check mark that you have completed your profile and that you are ready to start applying to college. When you click Start to Apply, it's going to once again confirm that you want programs after July 31st, 2021. And then once again, it will show you a calendar option to once again say that you're applying for programs after July 31st, 2021. And the reason that the college wants to make sure that you are applying for the correct dates is because colleges do in fact start at 3 different times of the year. So they are asking this question multiple times just to make sure that you are correctly applying for the programs at the time that you want them. For the first part of your application, you will add your programs that you have chosen. If you have completed the research sheet that Ms. Tanrakulu was referring to earlier, hopefully you wrote down the unique code that was associated with each of the programs that you were interested in. By putting this code into the program search bar, it will immediately bring you directly to that program without having to search for the programs again. You also, at this point, you will notice in the right-hand corner that you have been assigned an applicant number. You can go ahead and write the applicant number down on the sheet that we provided you. This will be the number that the Ontario College Application Service will request from you moving forward for any emails or dialogue that you have with them. At this point, a reminder that you can only pick 3 programs from any single college. So you have 5 choices that you can make for a $95 fee. Of those 5 choices, only 3 of them can be at the same college. So not all 5 can be shared in programs, for example. If you did not write down the number, you are still able to search by the program name. I have written practical nursing once again as our earlier research example, and I chose all colleges. This will then bring up all the practical nursing programs in Ontario that are available, and I can add them from this screen. I have narrowed down the programs to Sheridan because I know I want to attend one of the GTA colleges. And then the last part before I click on the add button that's located on the far right hand side is once again double check that start date. You can see from this example that the practical nursing program does in fact begin in September, January, or in May. So I want to make sure that I'm selecting the September option since that is when I would like to begin. You can then repeat that process for all 5 of the programs that you are interested in. Once you have entered all 5 programs, I would once again tell you to make sure that you check the start date, that they are all in fact for September of 2021. And at this point, using the arrows on the left-hand side of the application, you are able to change the order of the programs as they appear. So for example, if Sheridan was really the college that I wanted to go to, it is currently located on the bottom of my list. I could use the arrow on the left-hand side to bring it up to the top of the list and indicate that that is my #1 choice in program. Colleges have assured us that they use your program choice order only for their own statistical data and that it does not impact whether or not you will get into their program. So they give no preference to students who have chosen their program as #1 or students who have chosen their program as #5 on the list. At the very, very bottom, you will have to scroll down to the end of the screen. That is where you'll find the Save and Continue button that will take you into the next screen where you will order your transcripts. If you have correctly added Northview as your school on your profile, there is nothing more that you need to do here. It will show Northview as your current school, and it will show that the transcripts will be requested and sent to all the colleges applied to. So there's really nothing further for you to do here other than save and continue and move on to the next screen. The next screen is the review screen. This is where you will be able to see your entire application from the profile information straight through to the programs that you have chosen. We would ask you to very carefully check all of these areas once more. Make sure that you have not made any errors in any part of the profile. You are able to go back at this time and make any changes by using the edit info located at the end of each section. But if you have scrolled through and everything is as you need it to be, you can then select to continue to the payment option. For the payment option, you can see that I've chosen 5 programs, therefore the fee is $95. Again, I can once more check that everything is in order here in terms of my start dates and programs that I have chosen. And once I am satisfied, I will click Pay Outstanding Fees. Fees are to be paid by credit card. The credit card does not need to be the student's credit card. We recognize that most students do not in fact have a credit card. It can be a credit card belonging to any family member or friend. The important thing is that whoever's credit card you use to pay for your application, that it is their name that you put in as the card holder, not your own. You then, and that will be on the front of the card, so enter the cardholder name exactly as it appears on the front of the card. You then enter the credit card number and expiry date. Again, all appear on the front of the credit card. At this point, you will need to turn the credit card over to find the card security code. That is a unique 3-digit code that is located on the back of all credit cards, and it is located at the end of the signature bar. It is this code that you want to input as the card security code. Once you have entered all of that information, you can then click on Process Payment, and you will receive an email confirming that the payment is received and your application is complete. Once you have submitted your application, you can verify your grades. Once Northview has transferred your information to the colleges, you will be able to log in and see the grades that were transferred. If at any point you need to make changes to your application, so for example, if you apply to college now and then in December suddenly move, you are still able to go back into your account and log in and make those changes. And then the next thing that you will be watching for is the offers. Colleges will begin to make offers to students after the February 1st deadline. So after February 1st, if you log into your OCAS account, you will be able to see any offers that have come in already. When it comes to applying for financial aid, OSAP is what most of our students will apply for, the Ontario Student Assistance Program. You cannot actually apply for OSAP until you have been accepted into a program and you have accepted that program. So that does not occur until much later in the school year, and we will be having an OSAP information night in March. So stay tuned to the Google Classroom for the exact details of that when we will go over how to apply for OSAP. Once again, you will not be able to apply for OSAP at this time. It cannot be done until after you have received and confirmed an offer. For those of you who have been studying in Ontario in an English-speaking school for less than 4 years, there may be an English language proficiency requirement in addition to your transcript that you will have to complete. There are a number of options for this English language proficiency option. Many of the colleges do in fact run their own tests, and they will be providing you information about that. Or there is also the TOEFL or IELTS, both of which have virtual options currently that you can use. The colleges will, however, send you an email that outlines whether or not you need to submit additional English proficiency information. So wait for the colleges to email you after you have submitted your application with any further instructions in terms of English language proficiency. The last part, sadly, some of us do not get into all the programs that we may have applied to. We just want to reassure students at this time that there are options for you. This is not the end of the world. It's not something to get upset about. You can always return to Northview for a semester, even though that is recommended for only certain students. So you will have to talk to your guidance counselor about that. You have the option of upgrading courses or taking any missing courses at night school or summer school. You have the option of attending an advanced program if you will be over 18 years of age. That program also will give you many options in terms of what courses can be retaken. And because that program is only 9 weeks in length, you will be able to complete up to 3 credits upgraded in time for the January admission of 2021. So, sorry, of 2022. So that's an option for those of you that will be over the age of 18. And there are many upgrading programs at colleges as well that you can attend. We will go over some of those options in a separate presentation, but just for you to know that if you don't want to return to high school, there are options for upgrading at the colleges. And again, contact your guidance counselor should you find yourself in this situation. There is always a plan B. If you really want to end up at a certain college, at a certain program, there's always a way that we can get you there. For those of you that are thinking of possibly going to university after you've completed your college diploma, there are many, many college and university transfer programs that will allow you to enter university after a college diploma. Transfer.ca is the website that you can use to research those options. So we would encourage you, if you are thinking of possibly going to university after you complete your college, to check out this website and see what options are available to you. There are many of them. For those of you that have an IEP, you are able to use the accommodations that you would have received here at high school at the college level as well. Once you have confirmed an offer from a college and decided what college you are attending, you will need to contact their accessibility office and ask what documentation you will need to provide in order for your IEP to follow you to college. And that is the end of our presentation. At this time, I would like to thank everybody for listening. And once again, if you still have any questions or concerns, please reach out to your guidance counselor at Northview Heights. The guidance counselor information is located on the school website and also in the Google Classroom that we encouraged all seniors to join. So you are able to find the information on how to contact your guidance counselor at either of those 2 locations. Thank you for joining us. Ms. Tarakulu, if you'd like to just wrap it up.
That was fantastic. Thank you very much, Ms. Pavlik-Trias. I would just like to reiterate what Ms. Pavlik-Trias said, in that there is always a plan B. So if for any reason things did not go the way you anticipated, please contact your guidance counselor and we will go over all of the options with you based on what your end goal is.